It's it's the 8th of October 2021. It's Kevin Christian, and want to update the situation, my situation, and just talk for a minute. So it's been a minute since I did a video, like a day or something. But anyway, you know, I want to talk about the isolation tactics that they use and some other things. So these guys that are on my channel, yesterday or well, yeah, yesterday because it's like the middle of the night. But yesterday, the one guy who's on my channel like 24/7, he was off most of the day, or he wasn't saying nothing most of the day. And it was Marcus and a couple other guys that were still on. But the one I think is his older brother, he wasn't on most of the day. But they're definitely all back now. It's at least four or five of them. And so, when I associate with people, it seems like um, they always try to pry into the situation. And so people that have access to neuromonitoring, they can collaborate with other people that have access to neuromonitoring. So it's like when they put you on public, they could put you on public and you could be riding around 100 miles from where you live, and people that you never seen or heard of, or they don't know you or anything else, they can become part of your gang stalking situation just because they could see that you're on public, and they could see like where you're at, or whatever. So they can become involved with your situation. Um, I noticed that when I become involved with somebody, like when I start to know somebody or be around somebody or talk to somebody very much, that they look for ways to infiltrate that situation. And um, so they try to collaborate with other gang stalkers or other people. Like, and say if me and you was to start communicating regular, and then maybe had some kind of intentions to collaborate, or any type of initiative, personally or against gang stalkers or anything else, then they would start to work on that. They would start to try to look for ways to become involved with your situation, to try to make sure that whatever the situation is doesn't happen. They don't want those type of things to happen. They don't want you to collaborate with other targeted people. And in the past, people that I've dealt with, they change. They start changing. And I believe that there's some mind control going on with that. When you start talking to somebody and then suddenly they're acting different. And and I was talking to this one person about, it was I was talking to a targeted person, and that doesn't seem to be affected by this type of situation. And we're talking about another situation that I had, and they were telling me like, oh yeah, that person's under mind control. You can't tell. And I was looking back, and I was like, maybe it does seem like that. It does seem like that's going on. Yeah, and that's the type of thing. You got somebody acting different, and that's the type of thing, because you're not isolated. And if you got somebody that has some understanding of what you're going through, or some uh, type of support for you, or collaboration or anything, then they want to pry in between that. So it's typical. I've noticed that they do those type of things. And so there's been times in the past where like I would get involved with a girl or something, and then uh, not long after that, um, they would start acting real different, and it wouldn't make any sense. And so I'm like, what is going on with that? Like, you don't even make no sense. And then, um, and then later, the same people that are targeting me that I've been talking about for 5 or 6 years public, all of a sudden become involved with that person, and then so I was talking to this girl a while back, and next thing you know, she was associating with all these gang stalkers that I deal with, and I'm like, wow, they just infiltrated my whole situation, and um, you know, do I hold that against a person? Like, are they under mind control? Are they just susceptible to that type of thing? We all make our own choices. You have to think for yourself. You have to be able to think for yourself. And even if we become close and then you start to be some kind of mind control person or whatever, and because the broadcast can be very effective, when they're connected to somebody and they start to influence people. And even the person that I was talking about, she had the same situation with artificial telepathy out loud and everything, and she was looking for a way out of this thing, and maybe she thought I was the way out, and maybe I could have been, um, but next thing you know, she was associating with these gang stalkers, and um, maybe she thought that was the way out. I don't know, but the bottom line, it really comes down to this, though. If somebody starts to become like a mind control person that wants to act against you, then that really starts to be like a liability. And my situation is fragile, where I've got a lot of people that want to get rid of me. I think there's some people that probably want to see me succeed or want to help me. There's also some people that are on the fence because my success is bad for them, but at the same time, it's like, rooting for Truman because they know what's going on is wrong, and and it's a horrible thing to go through. Um, but if somebody becomes a liability, especially in my case, where I feel like my position is fairly important, spreading awareness, and um, I've created this whole thing with like this whole platform where um, I've built everything up to the point where people listen to me, and people are starting to understand how things work. So is I feel like my position is important, and I feel like there's a lot of people that want me gone. So I have to be very aware and careful about any type of setups or anything. And so it gets like that, um, but I always try though. I try to talk to people as much as I can, and um, I try to use my intuition and my instincts about all of these things. But the whole thing is they want you to be isolated, you know? It's like usually, I mean, I know some of you guys got a different scenario, but usually they won't target somebody else that's close to you because of that type of reason. That would give you credibility, that would give you um, somebody to fight against them together with you. And um, so they don't use, like, for instance, like my mother or my brother or sisters or something, like somebody very close to me. They wouldn't normally target those people. And so, I know that those people are on neural monitoring because we all are. And I know that the same group that has access to mine, the same girl that probably uh, has is possession and control over mine, because I think that's how it works. Also has possession and control over some of the people that are close to me, and that's typical of how it works. And they want to be able to have some control and influence, and they don't want to make it to where, like, if anybody could just come on my neural monitor anytime, there will be people that are trying to help me because of the horrible things that I have to deal with. And it is hard to find the truth nowadays. It's very difficult, um, but they want to have control over things. So when you start to communicate with other people that are in the same situation and start to collaborate or things like that, um, that's a threat to them. And so they jump on the task of trying to become in control of that situation and deter that by any means. Um, so, that's just one of the tactics that they use. Um, you never can tell what's really going on. So until you know, you don't know. So I try to just play it like that. Sometimes it's tough because you become hopeful, or you start to have you start to have feelings of companionship or some type of camaraderie or something like that. You get close to people, and then you start to feel like, wow, I can't even get close to anybody because of this, and it's hard because so many people can be involved, and then so many people can just become influenced and uh, mind controlled, and it's hard to deal with on that level. Um, and I know firsthand they can be very influential, and they can confuse you a lot. I don't let it get to me, and I just think for myself all the time, and I don't buy into anything they say, and that's the only way you can really do it. Every now and then I know for sure about something with intuition or like just reception in general, so I can go off of that sometimes. But in general, you have to disregard every single thing that a gang stalker has ever saying to you, ever. um, Anyway, also I want to update they're being very violent with me again, attacking my face and my mouth while I'm sleeping. It's very hard to deal with the fact that they really have a lot of control over when you get sleep and if you get enough, and they do a lot of horrible things to torture you and harass you. They've been attacking my butt a lot the last couple days. Um, the guy Marcus, he's getting real desperate because of some situations that I have going on, and there's a lot of different avenues that um, that I'm pursuing, and that could be negative for them. It could have a negative impact on their position. And the last thing that he wants, and his family, the Howard Circle guys, the last thing that this group wants is to get um, pushed out of my channel, of my situation, because they've done the most and they have so much to lose if I was to get neural monitoring or have too much success or something like that. So they spend a lot of time trying to make sure that those things don't happen, because if I get neural monitoring, or if I become very successful at the things that I'm trying to do, then it could be devastating to they could go to prison for the rest of their life. Plus, this is what they've invested their time in for like 10 years, and this is what they're doing to make money and everything else. So um, they have to safeguard all of that and pay attention to me 24/7 all the time. And that's, um, yeah, they've been doing that to me for about two days solid. They really have. So, but anyway, there's a reason that I'm making this video, but it's also an in general thing, So it is something that I've been dealing with, not just right now, because I am kind of dealing with it right now, but maybe not. I don't know. I'm kind of measuring a situation at right at the moment, but um, in the past, many a times it's become a thing where it's been like this, where you become you start to associate with people, and then the next thing you know, they're acting real strange and almost seem like they're turning against you, and so it makes you not want to open up very much to people. Um, it makes you cold, and it does help them to isolate you. But anyway, I got a lot of good things in the works. Um, I'm supposed to go live tonight for the first time with a guest, and I haven't confirmed that since like 2 days ago. But I'm assuming that it's still on. So um, that should be this evening, Friday evening, Friday night. We call it the Friday Night Live, as long as it still goes down. And also, I'm in trying to get some other people, a couple other people, and to do some things with me, like some podcasts or some things like that, and that would be pretty significant type of thing coming up soon. So hopefully, I'm working on some other things, but I'm gonna keep doing this too, and keep trying to handle my business. And I'm just chopping away a little by little, and it's hard because they can attack me anytime they want to. They attack, right now, and they can attack me right now and all day and every day, and I have to be very patient and persistent, and patience and planning, and just keep to build towards something. And it's I have to build up to be able to try to defeat them completely, and it takes a long time, and it's a process when they can just attack me right now, you know. Um, so I can't even drink milk. I don't know why you would feel guilty when you drink milk. I can't even drink milk at all. But anyway, that's kind of what's going on right now, what I'm going through, what I'm dealing with, and I'm just trying to do everything I can. I'm trying to do everything I can, and they're attacking and torturing me pretty bad. So I might look into that, man, because I got some questions for him actually. Look out for Charlie or whatever. I haven't looked at any of his videos for several years, but I've heard a few things about him, and I'll be honest. The thing that really threw me off was he had that big video about the whole thing being Morgellons, and like how to cure neural monitoring and all this stuff. And then from then, I just kind of lost interest. But I've heard some things about him, and so I wouldn't hold that against him really until I would talk to him firsthand. But yeah, maybe I will reach out to him and see if he wants to be a guest or something like that, because a lot of people do mention him. But that's why I kind of discounted the whole thing with him in the beginning. Well, in my first knowledge of him, 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. But look out for Charlie's. Somebody just commented about that, so that's what I was talking about. But I should have him on as a guest. But like I said, the whole Morgellons thing and how he was like saying he had the cure. And when people start talking about things that I know it's not, because I know firsthand, and when people start talking about things that I know that it's not, um, then it throws a flag up for me. Same with like people talking about like, play this frequency and it'll do it. It'll cure everything, or use these bone conducting headphones. And I'm just saying, I'm not buying it, because you can't do something. If you could do that, everybody just do it, and this would be over with. And it's not how it's working. Okay, so especially like frequencies and stuff like that. Like, you can't block a microwave signal with some sort of sound wave, and it's an impossible thing of science. And so when people start talking about that type of thing, it just kind of steers me the other way, because I got better things to do than buy into propaganda, and I'm definitely not going to support or um, promote things that I know to be propaganda, whether they know it is or not. Maybe they're just trying to discover how to uh, live a better life, and defeat this whole thing. And it's hard, because I want to find a way too. I don't want to deal with them either. But even if I could block it or whatever, like you can't, but you gotta get your neural monitoring. Otherwise, you're always uh, at the mercy of some idiot gang stalkers or dope heads or something like that, who want to act erratic and like terrorists. That's what it is. It's terrorism. The whole thing is terrorism and torture and slavery. Okay, that's what it is. And um, if some of these little remedies or things that people talk about, if there was any merit to that, then none of us would have this problem anymore, because it spread like wildfire. But say, I got it. It works for real. And we'd all know it, because it worked for all of us. And we wouldn't be sitting here talking about it still every day. But anyway, that's what's going on. I got to go at the moment. So I appreciate you guys watching. That's just my little update. And that's what's going on. This is Kevin Christian. Thank you for everything. And I'll see y'all on the next one.